Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wingman Wisdom and to today's video. If you're new to the channel, I want to introduce myself. I am the RV Wingman. I'm a former campground owner. I'm a lifelong RVer, lover of the great outdoors. And I love most of the people that do it most of the time. Here on Wingman Wisdom, it's like a virtual campfire. Speaking of campfire, how do you like my shirt? It's been cold down here in Texas, and my shirt I was hoping it would keep me warm. But we sit around a virtual campfire here on the channel, and we visit back and forth about things that, of course, are RV and camping related, but sometimes we veer off. We talk about life in general. So if you like thoughtful, open conversation with really smart, wise people, you have come to the right place. Before I get into a story of an RVer that's facing a $10,000 repair bill from Camping World, I want to talk with you about situational awareness and motivation. Situational awareness is so important now more than ever. It seems like everybody is trying to get in my pocket. I don't know if that's the way it is for you, but let me share a couple of stories. So I go to the knee doctor the other day. I've got bone on bone in my right knee, and it hurts almost all the time, but I can deal with it. I have a high pain threshold. It was hurting really bad, trying to walk a little bit, trying to get in a little bit better shape, and it's been hurting. So I go to the knee doctor. I haven't been there in a while, and I fill out everything online, which, they already had this information, but I had to fill it out. Then I go to the knee doctor, and then I had to fill it out again. I'm like, why do I have to fill this in? Well, because we need to, and okay, what am I going to say? So I go and fill it out. And I go in, and they said, well, come back here for an x-ray. And I said, walked back to the room and said, what are we doing an x-ray for? They said, well, you're a new patient, right? No, I've been here many times before. It's been a little while. And they said, well, hang on. They walked away. A few minutes later, they came back and said, well, you haven't been here in over a year, so we have to take x-rays. I said, well, I'm going to tell you what you're going to find. You're going to find bone on this leg because that's what hurts, and it's not going to change. So that's what you're going to find. They said, shut up and, stand over there. So they did the x-ray. The doctor comes in, and you know what he didn't mention? He didn't even mention my bone on bone. Didn't even mention it. Now, 2 years ago, when he discovered it, he made a big deal out of the bone on bone. I didn't say anything yet. He talks about I had some calcium on the cartilage or whatever. It wasn't too bad that he could give an injection and make the pain go away for a while. I've had those things before. They don't hurt at all. It does make it feel better. And I said, well, I know that I'm on bone. And he had this look like he didn't know what to say. I mean, at least that's the way it felt to me. And then he said, well, I can give you an injection. I'd like to see you here in a couple of weeks. We also have a physical therapist here that I can recommend you to. And I felt like I was at a timeshare promotion. It's like, are you kidding? They're trying to upsell. And here's another story. So I go to a dermatologist. I know I'm old, been out in the sun most of my life. I go to a dermatologist because I had this thing on my back, like a mole. And my wife goes, you need to have that looked at. So she is a dermatologist. I go and see her dermatologist. Real quick, all I want to do is remove this mole on my back, make sure it's not going to kill me. And so the lady comes in, the lady dermatologist, she comes in the room. First off, when I get to the dermatologist office, it's packed. I'm like, man, it must be a good business to be a dermatologist. It is packed. They finally get to me. I go back and what can I do for you? And very pleasant. And I said, well, I've got this spot on my back I need you to look at, hopefully remove it. And she said, okay. And so she removes it. Takes 5 minutes, 2 minutes. It takes just no time at all. She said, hold on just a minute. She brings 2 other women into the room. Beautiful women. And so it's me and 3 women, the dermatologist and 2 salespeople. I'm sorry. I think they're called estheticians, but I felt they were salespeople. And they started looking at my face, looking at my face. So, what? I said, we're just looking. I said, okay, at what? And they said, we can take care of whatever, that or all of it. And I said, well, that's okay. Well, and then they start talking amongst themselves, having like a little mini meeting. It felt like a sales meeting, like I said, a timeshare presentation. And they want to put me under a certain kind of a light and do this kind of a skin treatment. And I said, hang on, I just came for that mole that you did. I'm not really interested in anything else. And they continued to push and push. I finally said, look, I'm not going to do any of that. This is what I got. This is what I'm going to die with. Unless it's going to kill me, let's just leave it alone. And they said, okay. So they left, and they were very nice, but they left. And as I walked out to finish my bill at the checkout deal, they had some cream and stuff set out on the counter. And they said, well, sir, this is for you. I said, I don't want it. Well, they recommend this. Again, it was like I'm being upsold the whole time. Do you feel like that? Maybe it's their job. Maybe it is. But it seems like in today's economic environment, more and more people, even physicians, are trying to get you just a little bit more money out of your pocket. Let me know if you have the same kind of frustration. It's not just in the medical community. It's just about everywhere I go. People go, oh, let me tell you one more thing. What is the motivation that people have? Is it to truly help you, or is it to put money in their pocket and pay for the BMW? I don't know. I'm just saying, what is my motivation here? My motivation is to get you to think, just to share stories with you, not to get you to agree with me, but hopefully to get you to think and come up with your own conclusion. As I say, situational awareness, I think, is a really good thing. So is being skeptical. That leads me to an email I got from a man named Charlie. He asked to remain anonymous. So I'm going to show you what he wrote. And he's facing a very, very expensive repair on his RV. So let's go to Charlie's email right now. He said, hi, Alan, love your show, blah, blah, blah. I highlighted some of this stuff. Long story short, here is what an RV repair shop emailed me yesterday. He's got a motorhome, and he's got a problem with a slide out. It says, quote, this is from the repair shop. The guys worked on your slide out yesterday. Unfortunately, the damage is much more severe than it appears. Of course it is. The slide bottom, metal and wood, is broken from front to rear. It's a miracle this thing hasn't fallen out. The side will have to be stripped, removed, and laid on its side. I think it meant the slide. Laid on its side to replace the slide bottom. The slide bottom will be removed and studied to find the point of failure, either poor workmanship or poor failure, busted welds, etc. At that point, we will rebuild the floor back to proper factory specs with a correction for any failures we find. With the size of the slide, it's going to be expensive. I would anticipate it's going to be around 10 grand with 65 hours of labor and the materials, which won't be very much. I want to get your approval before going any further. Thank goodness. I realize this is a lot of money, but there's just no other way to shortcut it. And so Charlie says to me, it's a Sunseeker, and it's an older model, so it doesn't have any kind of a factory warranty. He says, being on a fixed income, that is a lot of money. Am I living in the past, or is 10 grand a normal estimate for a slide repair? When I Google it, 6,000 seems like the high end, and I assume that would be for a 40-foot pusher. So Charlie, I'm gonna give you some ideas here as to what I think. And it's nice. It's always nice to have something in writing from whoever is going to work on your RV. This is a really good start. So I'm going to show you what I responded to Charlie with. It's several things. And by the way, if you have a situation like Charlie does, and you would like an outsider's input, like my perspective, I will be glad to try and get back with you like I've done with Charlie. But listen to what I said. I said, I don't know if $10,000 is a reasonable price or not, but here are some things you may want to consider. If you do go ahead with the repair at Camping World, do they have a technician who has performed this exact repair before, or will this be their first? That is really important. You don't want to be the first patient that the person operates on. I don't think. Find somebody, make sure the repair shop has somebody that has that word called experience. It's not just a technician. It is a technician with experience that has done repairs similar to what they're trying to get you to do at their dealership. All right, I continue to say, approximately how long do you anticipate the repairs taking? Any kind of a window of time is better than an open window. Hope this makes sense. When you take your RV to a repair shop, try to get them in writing to give you some kind of a window. How long is it going to take for them to fix your RV? They're not going to say 3 weeks and 1 day. They're not going to do that, so don't expect it. But get a general idea. They know how backed up they are. If they've looked at your repair, they have a general idea how long it's going to take, when they can get you in. Don't bother them, but do ask them, could you give me an idea of a window of time, 6 weeks to 13 weeks? Give me a window of time, and then check with them frequently to find out what the progress is being made. So don't give them an open window. The next thing I said was, if you do go ahead with the repair at Camping World, what kind of a warranty do they provide on this kind of service work? Is it the old 5-mile or 5-minute warranty? You know what I'm talking about? I'm sorry, we did the best we could. Got your 10 grand. You still got a bad RV. I'm not saying that is going to happen, but is there any kind of a warranty that is on the service work that they're getting ready to perform? I think it's really important to ask that question. And then finally, the fourth thing I said is, if they refuse to give you any kind of a warranty, will they at least give you their best guess as to how long the repair should last? I mean, that's pretty important. What's it going to last, 6 months or 6 years? I think the answer to all these questions is important. What I said to Charlie, I said, while you have to ultimately make the final decision on repairs, I suggest you get everything in writing from the dealer prior to giving your approval. So important. You have a written paper trail, a document trail of what you are going through with the dealer. You hope you will never need to use it. But if you do, you've got the paper trail, not just we talked about it, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he said such and such. That doesn't go well in court. And I hope you don't have to go to court. But if you do, this paper trail is going to be vital to your success. I said that essentially what I told Charlie, you need to respond to their email with some kind of a version of, thank you for getting back with me about the repairs needed on my Sunseeker. While it's not what I wanted to hear, your honesty is appreciated. Before giving my final approval to begin repairs, I have a couple of questions, and then go to those questions, some form of those questions. Now, there are, of course, endless amounts of questions that you can ask, but I think it's important to be professional, to take the high road, put it in writing, ask for their answers to be in writing, be very polite. Again, the paper trail is going to be super important if you do go forward with an expensive repair. So I'm going to leave it with this. Do you think that many repair shops are looking at, $10,000? How big a window do you think that $10,000 is? You think it's 10, or could it be 11? Or do you think it'd be a good idea to go, it's 10, it could be as much as 15? What do you think? Or do you think you ought to get an exact, I don't think it's reasonable to get an exact price on something that they don't know yet, but $10,000 to spend that kind of money to repair an older motorhome, that is quite an investment. I say cover your butt, put everything in writing just in case. Again, this is a $10,000 repair. It's not like going and trying to fix an old man's face and, giving me an injection in my knee and going back to see the doctor in a couple of weeks. This is a major, major investment. Let me know what you think. I mean, do you see more and more people trying to reach around and get in your old pocket? Or maybe it's just me. Maybe it's a grumpy old wingman. And it very well could be, but I would love to hear from you. Charlie, I'm hopeful that this helps. If you have a situation similar to Charlie's, or you want to contact me, drop a comment below or click the word more in the description. It will open up. You'll see many of the people that I do consulting work with, and you'll get my personal email address and my cell phone number. If I don't answer the cell, you can leave me a voicemail. I promise I get back to as many people as possible. I'm semi-retired, at least I'm supposed to be, and I work about an hour a day responding to people like I did with Charlie. So contact me. I cannot wait to hear from you. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and put my phone number on the screen right now. If you'll write this phone number down, save it as a contact in your cell phone. And if you need me, if you've got a thought, a comment, a criticism, a complaint, let me hear from you. I love hearing from people who watch Wingman Wisdom. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. Be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.